Alright, hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're testing a game called CyberCorp on the Steam Deck OLED. This is a fast-paced action, loot grinding and cyberpunk chaos game. But how well does it run on the Steam Deck? Let's break it down and see if this game is worth your time. So CyberCorp drops you into a dystopian future where corporations rule everything and chaos is the name of the game. You're part of a special task force called the CyberCorp, sent out to restore order in a world full of cybernetically enhanced enemies and merciless gangs. The game mixes action-packed combat, loot grinding, and a ton of customization options. There are procedural maps, which means that every mission feels fresh, whether you're clearing out enemies or collecting loot, and you can equip various upgrades through a card-based system, building your characters with different weapons and armor based on your playstyle. Whether you like to go full melee or prefer a ranged approach, there's plenty of freedom to experiment with different game styles. It's not just about shooting your way through levels, however, there is a huge focus on upgrading your gear and abilities, and with tons of loot to find, you constantly be making decisions on what to equip, how to mix and match your mods for the best results, and how you're gonna go through all the missions. This system encourages replayability because every mission feels like a new chance to test out different builds. And of course, CyberCorp has that intense, fast-paced combat that really keeps you on your toes. If you're a fan of Warframe or Destiny, this will pretty much feel the same but with a top-down view. There's always something happening and you're constantly upgrading your gear as you go, and it's a game that rewards fast reflexes and quick decision making. Now let's talk about how CyberCorp actually runs on the Steam Deck. I've been playing the game on the OLED, and I gotta say performance is pretty solid. Now initially I had the game set to the lowest settings with 60 FPS locked in. Now without talking the FPS, you can reach about 70-75 FPS, but it can dip to 60, so I had it locked in. Now most of the time I'm hitting that 60 FPS target no problem, which is perfect for the fast-paced gameplay. But when things get really chaotic with a lot of enemies on the screen, I've noticed that the frame rate dips slightly to around 50 FPS or even 40 in some areas. It's not a huge deal, but it's something to keep in mind if you're looking for absolute consistency. Now the game doesn't have that much different graphical settings to play with, but there are some things that you can change. One important thing I want to mention is that capping the FPS from the Steam Deck's limiter doesn't work too well for this game. Now when I tried to do that, I saw some pretty noticeable dips dropping to around 40 FPS at times, which definitely affects the experience. Thankfully, the game allows you to actually cap it directly within the game settings, and this way you can get a much smoother 60 FPS and it stays stable even during those hectic moments. So what you're going to do is just cap it from in-game and just keep the Steam Deck at 60 or 90 Hz depending on if you're playing on the LCD or the OLED. There are some settings you can experiment with. You can turn shadows on or off, and when they're on, you can choose to be on hard or soft shadows. In my case, I tested it around and I set shadows to hard to save on performance, and I turned off improved textures. There is a possibility to have improved textures on or off. To be honest, the Steam Deck screen size makes it hard to notice much of a difference with those upgraded textures, and it is a very fast-paced game, so you're not really gonna be noticing a lot of the textures. And with shadows set to hard, you're still getting that clean, sharp look without extra performance hit from the other option, which is soft shadows. Now, battery life is another big factor. With these settings, you get about 3 hours of playtime on the OLED, which is pretty solid for a game like this. And if you want to stretch it a bit further, you can cap the FPS to 30, and that will give you around 4.5 hours of gameplay. But honestly, CyberCorp is just way more fun at 60 FPS. The smoother movement makes everything feel more responsive, and that's key for a game with this much action. Now overall, CyberCorp runs really well on the Steam Deck, and if you're into looter shooters and cyberpunk aesthetics, I think it's definitely worth checking it out. The in-game settings give you just about enough flexibility to dial in the performance and visuals just right. The game also has full controller support, and navigating through the menus, upgrading your abilities and your weapons is pretty easy and pretty intuitive. So that's gonna be it for this one. If you found this video helpful, be sure to hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe for more Steam Deck tests and gaming content. Hit the notification bell so you never miss an upload. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.